Okay, fix that. All right. Hello, everybody. A little there's a little bit of a lack of fanfare when I'm running the tech side of things. So, welcome to the Wrestling Club WrestleMania post show. Wrestling Club, the only place to say for all wrestling fans, whether you're casual, lapsed, obsessed, or ashamed. I'm one of the hosts, Brett Davis. You don't need a lot of fanfare tonight because we've had a weekend of a lot of it. We're going to have some special guests joining us. Some you may be seeing in the moment, but Darren will be joining us after his nap, I guess. I don't know where he is, but we have two very special guests. Oh wait, hold on. Here's my co-host, Darren, maybe doing a run-in. We'll intro him in a second. We've got the former, the original Metal Injection editor, producer. I don't know what your title was there.
I'm the co-founder. I'm still I still co-founder.
Co-founder.
Yeah. Host of Squirt Circle Pit.
That's right. Some of your former guests were a part of this stupendous occasion we just witnessed.
That's true.
Yeah. Triple H has been on the show.
A few in the same match. Damian Priest and Edge.
That's right. If they ran to the beat of their own drum, they might have been on Squared Circle Pit. Mm-hmm. And then we have the editor in chief.
But you didn't say my name.
Shut up.
Oh, Brett, you're doing great here, huh?
Shut up.
Wow.
Look at you.
Wow.
Rob Pasbani is with us.
You think it's so easy. Wait, I talked over the announcement of his name, Brett. Why don't we're not live, are we? We can just
we're live.
Where?
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal. We're streaming live. This is the idea of a WrestleMania.
Brett, this is supposed to be the global standard in live event post-show podcasting.
Sorry, my cat is literally just shaking her bell right into the microphone. Apologies for that.
I can't find my cat. The last time I saw her, she was angry. So there may be a feline run-in on my end. It's not even my cat. And I got to deal with it anyway.
We have the editor of Fan Fight, the double threat personality, a poet, a writer, the record store person. Oh my God. She's also one of our most frequent guests, Colette. Arrand, welcome back to Wrestling Club.
Hi.
And I'm Darren.
That's Darren. And
of WFMU's Wrestling Club.
That's right. Formerly.
Yeah. Now you're a guest.
I lost my Losers Leaves Town match, but we're working.
That's right. Thank you for the people that are watching live. Feel free to chime in on the chat with your thoughts about WrestleMania, Hall of Fame, NXT, Ring of Honor, Collective, WrestleCon.
Hold on.
SmackDown, Rampage, Triple A.
I have to have opinions about all of that. That's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Right, hold on. I thought we were doing Wrestler's Court this week.
Sorry, Darren.
Was I supposed to watch something?
Yeah, well, if you maybe missed something, we could catch you up too.
Hold on, I thought we were doing My Father the Heel Wrestler movie review. No,
that's why we're
the that's the Tanahashi movie. No,
oh, interesting. Now my cat's is coughing up a hairball again right into the microphone.
Cat is out. Eject the cat.
I'll let you cough it up.
Na.
Hey,
goodbye.
Anyway, WrestleMania. Did you watch? Did we all watched it, right?
Yeah, we watched it.
Last night we talked about doing a post show after night one, but I have my radio show on Saturday night. So I was in my mind, I was like, maybe we could just do like a spoiler-free recap. But I was like, that doesn't work. I smoke weed sometimes, it's not great for me.
Yeah, I will say there was a more newsworthy night, and that was Saturday night.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I watched both shows back to back on Sunday, and it was great. I had such a great time. It was an 8-hour, but I like those like 9-hour documentaries, where they're just like kind of walking on a road for a while. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah. This is
so it was only WrestleMania Sunday for me. I didn't enjoy WrestleMania Saturday.
Well,
that might be the preferential experience.
You were doing
chores. I thought it was
but...
great over 2 nights. The most newsworthy thing that happened all weekend was Vince McMahon taking the Stone Cold Stunner. Like that's
right.
It was
over everything.
There were so many components to that spot. It was a high spot. It turned into a high spot.
There was risk of death involved.
One for the record book. He might have pulled both quads again.
That's
fine. God, yeah.
He can at this point. There's nothing left to tear.
He's like Mr. Burns, where they say like all the diseases are fighting against each other. They're stuck in the door.
I've been checked out of WWE for a little while. When did Vince turn into a turtle?
Oh, literally, like within the last 5 years. This is just the first time he's had his shirt off. He's like Sting. He's like Sting. He knows that if he takes his shirt off, the mystique is gone.
Yeah.
He is like Sting.
Austin was smart. Never took the shirt off.
No, I wanted Stone Cold Steve Austin to take the shirt off and the shorts.
And the shorts. Yeah, take your shorts off, Steve Austin.
I just watched that, that famous angle where he comes out in the suit and then he rips the suit off. He's got the trunks on. That's what I wanted. I don't care what he looks like. He's Stone Cold. He can be fat. It's fine.
I don't think he's fat. I think he's just maybe not the specimen he once was.
I understand it. He's just, you know what? We're not going to body shame Stone Cold on this show.
No, not at all.
I think he looks great.
He was not secure enough in his physical appearance to want to display it. Maybe his thighs weren't up to standard. That's why he was like, you know what, pants and shorts. I can't just do the shorts.
You know what? Just take the shirt off. Give me some, you know what I mean?
If we're doing a match, I would have liked to see the vest. I would have,
Yeah, I wanted the vest.
Yeah, exactly.
We've seen Austin come out in an Austin 316 shirt and throw punches for decades now.
He was just wearing his John Cena costume.
Before there was a John Cena costume, it was a Stone Cold Steve Austin costume. The shorts maybe were a little lighter, a little shorter.
They were. Yeah, you're right.
So this is Sid checking in. Sid, enduring a weekend where I just stayed inside. I went out on Friday and then I settled in for a long, long ride and still didn't catch all the things that people were talking about. But let's talk about night 2 because that's what just happened. I guess, yeah.
Colette, what just happened?
The big news of the show is that unbelievably fun Pat McAfee Austin Theory bleeding into Raw 98.
Vince is the best over 75 worker there's been except Mae Young.
Yeah, since Mae Young. He took the clothesline form directly from Mae Young, just like throwing out that like arm at mid-level and hoping that something hits.
His strut around the ring.
How old was Luthez when he was wrestling like Chono?
Like 70.
Like okay.
He's in that conversation, but like I don't know. Wow, imagine if we could see Vince McMahon and Luthez. There's a time machine match for you.
You know that gif where like Vince McMahon his head like rises up above the ring apron and he's just dripping blood and he looks like a super pervert.
The WrestleMania 19 scene.
Yeah,
he's looking at his daughter.
He did like the bloodless version of that today, and it was so good. Like while he was taking his clothes off, like he just looked like a freak.
Yeah,
I loved it.
There was that Spider-Man movie, and everybody was like, "Oh, Willem Dafoe didn't need a helmet to look like a goblin." And I think Vince McMahon has the same thing. The older he gets, the more his face melts. When he smiles, it's even creepier. It's like the Grinch.
Yeah, his head is receding into his body, his torso, which is still massive.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to make
traps.
fun of him for being old. He is all traps. Yeah.
Last night we had the KO show with Stone Cold and Kevin Owens turning it into a match. Tonight we had the Austin McMahon segment. What do you think was better? I'll go around. Rob, how about you?
Well, I thought the match yesterday, I thought everyone did a great job, but like I wasn't that impressed. Like I was impressed, but not like entertained, I guess. But this was entertaining. Like I was pissing myself. I was loving it. So I would go, I thought this was much better than last night. Not the last night was bad. It just wasn't that great. I don't know. So I go tonight.
Yeah. Adam Susan in the chat clarifying Thez was 72, Vince is 76. And Eric saying that Vince took the crown of worst stutter from Linda. Yeah, but I still.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's in the McMahon family.
Stupendous fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like
Colette,
he took it bad twice. That was impressive.
Yeah. Colette, how about you?
I'm gonna say the KO show because it didn't have Pat McAfee or Austin Theory anywhere near it. Steve Austin took a suplex on concrete, and he is made up of rubber bands and paper clips.
Yeah.
His punch is still a dream. I loved it. And you know, I just had to like keep thinking like of how surreal it is for somebody who like, you know, used to wrestle for the same like indie promotion that I was a color commentator for, like wrestling Steve Austin in his first match in 19 years. That was pretty cool. And you know, I wish the build had been a little bit better, but I think that they were unsure of what Austin would be able to do, and what he was able to do was good enough. Like that dude was bumping on ramps, he was bumping on concrete, like he was having a good time. And it was cool to see him get back into it over the course of a match.
That was really impressive to see those. But like I was blown away that he took that suplex just on the concrete and then did two more suplexes on the ramps to Kevin Owens. Like I feel both people take the suplex bump. So there's no, you know, you're fucked either way. That was definitely. I think also you were saying, you know, they were unsure of it. I feel like it felt like at the first 5 minutes, even Steve Austin wasn't sure of how.
I think that he was the one who wasn't sure, like, period.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole reason why he never came back to wrestle, was just he wasn't sure if he could deliver to his ridiculously high standards.
Mm-hmm. And I feel it took a few beers for him to be like, no, I got this. I'm Steve Austin.
He did get drunk.
And then like it was like Popeye spinach. She's like, all right, let's do it. And then it was like, all right, let's get into it.
I was kind of doing the Steve Austin show, Austin commentary, like, wham, hit him with the punch, grab a cold one, break it down, get a little bit of that liquid courage, wham, hit him again.
I do wish Pat McAfee was on commentary for that one, because I feel like he would have done that.
No, he'd been on the table.
Yeah.
Darren, how about you?
Well, you know, I'm basing it solely on the criteria of who took the most clothes off. With that said, KO was a total pro.
Total pro.
You know, he guided Austin through that. Austin, I thought he was nervous at the beginning. You're totally right. I thought his punches got better over the course of the match, but it's Stone Cold and he was having fun. And I thought the promo was great for literally giving them nothing of a storyline. Like, hats off to Kevin Owens and, you know, Sami Zayn tonight, you know, also, I'm sure we'll talk about that. That's probably next.
Yeah.
That was my match of the night. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Match of the year for sure.
But those two guys are the best performers in WWE, hands down. Own the weekend. But except for Vince McMahon and everything he does. And the only negative on that match, where's the egg?
Where's my egg? God damn it, where's my egg?
Find my egg.
Yeah, the egg could have had a. Oh man, imagine if Austin cracked the egg.
If he hit him with the football and he opens the football and there's the egg, you know what
that
I mean?
would have been that would have been amazing.
I smoked so much weed during WrestleMania. I had great ideas.
we have two more people doing a run-in. We got Scotland Green joining us. Of the
Hello,
Pro
hello.
Wrestling
Can you hear me?
Potluck.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear
Okay.
you just fine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Big weekend for you. Big weekend for Mr. Iguana.
Oh yeah. I
Number
kind
one
of thought
Mr.
Mr.
Iguana
Iguana was going to come in tonight. Thought he was, or last night. I thought he was going to be against Seth Rollins, but I was wrong.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then we got the host of Oddball. You know him from Wrestle Rap. Vin Forte. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, what's going on? I hope you can hear me okay. I don't have my normal setup. I don't have any fancy mic going on today. I'm kind of just bouncing around doing different run-ins, coming back from a whole watch party thing. Yeah. No, what's going on? What's the room been talking about for the past 10 minutes?
Well, real quick, could I just get both your takes on 2 nights of Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I'll say that I missed his first night. I still haven't seen it. I stopped watching after Cody Rhodes, so I need to finish night 1. But night 2, I liked the Austin appearance. And how about that stunner? I know you've already touched upon it, but wowee, it will live forever.
It will.
I popped. I was clapping.
Mhm.
It's like he
we lost our minds.
Yeah. And I will say, I don't love, especially this year, felt like there's like football players all over the place. There's like a heavy barstool sports influence. We got the bump guys popping up. It's like I don't care about Pat McAfee. He seems like he's having fun. Good for him. But like,
Yeah.
When Austin brought him in, it's like, see, this is the fun Stone Cold where it's like, oh, he's got the stutter.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's the magic of Stone Cold. He's indiscriminatory. Darren, you said you thought his brother was going to get the stunner. Should have. He should have.
Yeah,
He
he
should
should
have.
Absolutely.
Very
I'll say,
disappointing.
like Stone Cold on night 2 was the happiest Stone Cold anyone has ever seen. He was laughing, smiling, drinking. He's drinking, and he drinks them so fast. And he doesn't drink as much anymore, right? Isn't that
He doesn't drink them like hardly at all. Mostly just dribbles down his shirt.
Yeah, but he gets enough.
I didn't know they put out a lager. I thought these were IPAs.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was like, geez, Austin.
He's gonna like vomit.
Be sick.
Did anyone else not know that? Because Brett, you just sort of passed by something really interesting. So that was his brother on night 1 that ran into the ring.
Yeah.
So like, because I thought that was just like a fan and he was just like rolling with it.
I thought that was the
Security
guy
came
who used
by.
to throw him beers.
One of the announcers referenced it, and that's how.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had
okay.
seen something with him.
And he was
Oh,
in
it
the
was
documentary.
Austin's brother?
Yeah.
I thought it was
He
just
was
like
in the
some freak
biography.
that looked like Austin and was like, I look just like you. Like, look, you just drink beer.
Oh,
I
so
thought-
he was in the biography. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys saw the 80 biography, and it's wild because it's like if Steve Austin never worked out, like that's what his brother looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any thoughts on the biggest WrestleMania match, the biggest WWE match ever? We just saw. We
Yeah,
just
Sami
saw that.
Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. Was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
The
Did you see the size of that
stunts
mousetrap?
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville. I appreciate that he was dressed like that. Well, who's that Spanish guy? The guy who like the guy who Bumblebee Man was based off of. You know what I'm talking about? The Spanish comedian that
Oh.
he's like the cockroach. He dresses in red and he's got the little antennas.
Oh, I thought he was dressed like Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, he
Andy
kind of had
Kaufman
a
had
Jimmy
the-
Hart thing going on.
Jimmy Hart. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I don't know what was going on with that outfit because the room I was in was like very confused by it. I was like, what is that? What is that in homage to? I'm like, I don't know if it's an homage to anything.
Yeah.
I think it's just he had like a silly outfit on.
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville
I-
should have come in with his shirt off too.
Lots of love for this match. Adam Susan saying "We Mania."
Oh my god!
Oh yeah! Wow.
That was the outfit of the night for the Jackass crew. Was Wee Man's Wee Man Mania shirt.
So good.
Yeah.
So
Wee Man got
Father
a
Cannot
Road
Yell
Warrior
saying
pop.
this was the first
Yeah,
WrestleMania I
pulling
watched in 30 years. It wasn't horrible.
And I feel like this is the kind of
anonymous
match.
Raw general manager and just coming out from under the ring.
Yeah.
Hornswoggle somewhere very upset that his spot was taken, but I feel like this is the type of match that you could like show a casual fan or like someone who doesn't really watch wrestling, and it's so fun that like I feel like they would get caught up in it.
It was
Well,
like it was
I
like
was loving
Home
it.
Alone. It was like Home Alone. Like
It
Johnny
was
Knoxville
WWE's
set up
first death
traps.
match.
Well,
Yeah.
that's an interesting point that I think a lot of people forget about WrestleMania. And I say this every year to people who go, "Oh, well, it was a little underwhelming or it wasn't to my taste." It's like WrestleMania is not Wrestle Kingdom. It's not there to be this workhorse show. It's there to be WWE's one big play a year where they reach out to the mainstream. They get as many stars as they can. Brett, I was listening to the episode I was telling you the other day where you mentioned WrestleMania 2 with the laundry list of guest stars, including
So
but not limited to Herb from Burger King.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Myra
if
and Ray Charles.
Herb from Burger King, Ray Charles,
Cab Calloway.
The Where's the Beef
Cab
Lady?
Calloway.
Fucking Cab Calloway. Like, what a
Cab Calloway.
I'm coming to WrestleMania.
Man, what the world coming to?
Yeah, it was a real fun match. I just pray we're not going to see some imitators, see giant mousetraps all over the indie scene where we don't have the medical staff there.
There's going to be indie shows that are just straight up called like Sean Ross Sapp and a giant mousetrap. Like,
God. big weekend for Darren's favorite. He's still say no.
This was my favorite match on either night of WrestleMania, and probably my favorite match of the year. Like, in all honesty, like, just sincerely, it was fun. Like, it was really fun. I was expecting the worst, even though I had really high expectations of it. It's really weird going into a match with both things, but right. Like, I was surprised at how well they were able to kind of integrate like the Jackass stuff into like the realm of a regular wrestling match, because 9 times out of 10, if they were to try that, it would blow up in their face. It did once. Like, the ring post spot wasn't good because they didn't use like Kane's pyro. But I thought it was a really feel good story. I like seeing Dark Shark. That dude rules. It was great. It's a nice coda on a good year for the Jackass crew.
Yeah. Eric in the chat saying we'll never forget the Wee Man Slam.
No, amazing.
Yeah, add that to the opening of every WWE show.
Yeah, put it in then now forever real.
Yeah.
Like 60-year-old Wee Man's gonna be like, I'll never forget 18C Stadium, brother. I slammed Sami Zayn.
They're hanging from the rafters.
The
I don't think
brother.
I've ever heard Michael Cole laugh legitimately. Like, it was really
Michael Cole has had like this weird renaissance recently, and it's this. And I agree with the majority of people who believe that it's because of Pat McAfee. Kind of like when you put a new dog next to an old dog, and it kind of revitalizes the old dog. Like, regardless of what you think about Pat McAfee, he's made Michael Cole like love his job again.
I think Michael Cole don't give a shit anymore. I think he knows his time is running out, and he's just like, I don't know, maybe he's drinking more. Pat McAfee, sure, that makes sense though, Vin. I agree.
McMahon runs out of breath when he's yelling into the headset these days, so Michael Cole gets to do what he wants.
What do we think of this main event match? Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Colette. I'll start with you.
I think I've seen like people say that Brock Lesnar got injured, and that's the only way that finish makes any sense. As if someone was legitimately hurt, because like Roman was just starting to go into like, you know, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman dinner theater about his shoulder being popped out. Up until that point, I thought it was great. Like, Brock Lesnar was changing colors, so I thought that it was about to enter like, you know, phase 2. But it never did, which is unfortunate, because like I think that those two have a lot of, I don't know, I think chemistry is the wrong word for anybody who wrestles Brock Lesnar, but like they have like kind of a magnetism about them where they like collide in an interesting way. But they've only had like one good match out of like 4, which, you know, 4 major main events makes you like a generational rivalry at this point in WWE. So yeah, I was hoping for more, but up until the point where it kind of had to end, I thought it was great.
I agree. I feel like it ended a little abruptly, like it was building, 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 and then it was like, oh, that's it. Like it was just, I feel like it was just getting into that great final gear where you wanted a little more of an exchange. I don't want to say false finishes so much, but just like a little back and forth, like you would have in perhaps those strong style New Japan matches. Like towards the end, like like when Okada's doing his big comeback and trying to hit his Rainmaker, and they duck and they go back and forth, and then finally someone hits their finisher, and then it ends. But as opposed to just one finisher, but I feel like that's very much a WWE formula. Like you feel like we're in this final act, and then it just boom, it ends right away. I feel that happened a few times over the weekend as well. So I think this was the planned finish. I don't think this was something that they like. This wasn't like the Raw tag title match or the SmackDown tag title match where like Rick Boogs was injured and they had to improvise. I think this was just how it was mapped out, just based on timing too.
I feel like Vince definitely went long in his segment, so maybe it was a time thing, because they are on pay-per-view and other places. I don't know if that matters, but it definitely felt. I wasn't excited for the match at all. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I kind of welcomed the abrupt ending. I liked it fine. I'm just tired of them. I'm just tired of both of them. I respect them a lot. I like them both, but it doesn't do that much for me.
I want to see them wrestle other people.
Yeah.
It's been like this has been a rivalry that's been going on for like 7 years.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I think the actual build up to this match was really good. I think we've seen a side of Brock Lesnar that was really fun, and you don't see a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I think Roman Reigns being at his best right now with that swagger that he has coming out and going to the crowd like, this is my crowd. These announcers, they announce for me, and like doing his whole shtick. Like it just all really clicked. And then the match was just, it was fine. It was their typical match. It's hampered by, and I hate to say it because I do like the fact that WrestleMania is 2 nights now. I like that it's a whole weekend of events and you could pace things out a little better. But night 2 in general was hampered a little bit by the fact that night 1 was so eventful. You had both women's matches, even though I don't give a fuck about Ronda. The Bianca Belair match was great.
Yeah.
You had the big reveal of Cody, which everyone saw coming, but was as well executed as you could possibly have it. And then you had Stone Cold coming. You weren't going to beat that. There was just so much going on in that first night that it kind of felt, and this has been the case, I guess, for the past couple of years, even though I guess, COVID kind of messed with those plans to a large degree, but it feels like this may be a recurring thing where they kind of front load the first night to get you in the door. And then it's like, okay, well, we have to have 1 or 2 big surprises left for night 2. And if the big thing you have for night 2 is just, hey, we have the big championship match, it better be something special and out of the ordinary. And this was just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've talked about the 2-night thing. Maybe we don't need Undertaker to make 2 5-minute entrances.
Yeah,
we don't need a 10-minute Triple H entrance as nice as it is for
Triple
him.
H entrance. I swear, I thought that the tag team match that got cut from night 1 was going to get cut from night 2 because Triple H was sipping a lot of water out there.
Yeah,
it basically was. It was like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You take out all the matches that would have been fine on Raw or SmackDown because we're throwing the Andre the Giant Battle Royal up there anyway. It's like, why not keep that Battle Royal on the show? Do 1 night
because it
just
sucks.
Have all the greats. Whatever. If the argument is like
they're
people
ever
have to get
1 night again. I don't think that's ever going to be a thing.
I think that we're at 2 nights forever now. And honestly, like, I don't mind it. My problem with it is that WWE doesn't know how to pace a 2-hour television show on Friday nights, let alone 8 hours of programming over Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, if they knew how to do it so that both felt like, separate shows that were somehow connected to each other, fine, perfectly fine. One of those women's matches should have been on Sunday, and everything should have been spaced out a little bit better. Like, Triple H, I understand why they had him do that. Like, I thought it was cool. Like, I was like, fuck yeah, Triple H. And I haven't thought fuck yeah, Triple H since like 2002. But like, he took forever, like just forever, and like leaving the boots in the ring, blah blah. I get it, but you know, that and Mr. McMahon coming out to the ring like in a 72-year-old strut, like there was just a lot of dead space, a lot of like promo videos about tomorrow or yesterday. Yesterday's promo videos were very
Or
confusing to me.
just Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks, yeah. Like
Charlotte
now
Flair,
appearing
like-
in this tag team match.
Yeah.
So like there's things that they could do better that would make the 2-night thing not feel like such a chore. But for whatever reason, this company that's been on television for longer than any of us have been alive hasn't figured out how to do television.
I feel like it could have been 2-3 hour shows even.
Why not one show? It's like
Yeah.
sorry, I feel like I'm banging a drum, but like I had friends
That's
that,
very
you know,
traditional. That's very traditional.
casual friends who know I like wrestling being like, wait, what night is WrestleMania? Like, I want to see this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
My, the big
Yeah.
Logan Paul fans.
And I'll say I watched all 8 hours of WrestleMania today, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. And I think if I watched night 1 and then night 2, I think night 2 I would. I don't know. I like doing it all at once.
I mean, the reason why they're doing it is pretty simple. Like, do you want 74,000 attendees or 140,000 attendees?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know what it's about. I know it's not
Why they have
about
2 world
I know
champions.
this
It's
isn't
why
a creative decision.
More
This company
content.
hasn't been a creative decision in 30 years.
Y'all are
No,
making me
like-
defend this company, and I don't like it.
yeah, WWE is really good at watering down things for profit. So,
Yeah.
speaking of watered down, Cody Rhodes.
I
Ooh.
loved it. I loved it so
No,
much.
I love
I
it.
like
That was great.
It was just
It made sense. He's home.
Yeah.
yeah,
I fucking
Oh.
flipped out when his music hit.
Yeah.
so happy.
It was
The
great.
Cody Vader when he rised out of the Cody Vader.
Good. He probably just took it from AEW. Like on a
Did
little
anyone
trailer.
else?
Yeah.
Did anyone else notice
Made
that?
QT steal it for him.
Did anyone
Yeah.
else notice that he's like doubling down on that neck tattoo? Like it's definitely it's been filled in
You gotta
since the last
touch
time
up.
we talked.
Well,
It's
my
brighter.
biggest pop
And-
was like the 3D neck
The
tattoo
3D.
Yeah.
and how they
They had a
added
really- yeah,
Ah!
complete sidebar here. They gotta tone it down on these 3D graphics. Like
Oh,
that,
No, I
the
love
Bianca
them.
Belair
I
with
hate
the
them.
hair whip
I'm into
frightened
it
me.
now. The
They're
Roman
so
Reigns,
bad that they're good.
the
I like the
Undertaker
RKO
with the
RK
eyes.
Bro one. With the snakes fighting. That was funny. I don't watch Raw.
Yeah,
so.
Roman outside was hilarious to me. Like towering over AT&T Stadium. That was
Yeah.
3D.
I said
Yeah.
this earlier,
Attack on
but the
Titan or
Undertaker's looks like a
something.
novelty dildo.
Yeah. Do they sell that
Does.
yet?
That's the only Undertaker product that doesn't exist yet.
It's one of those special
Undertaker.
NFTs, the dildo edition.
We're jumping around. I have thoughts about the Undertaker TED Talk, but let's go back to Cody because I feel like it's maybe the biggest story of the year.
Well, Cody's whole thing, going back to Vince's point, is his whole thing is doubling down on all his shit. So of
Mhm.
course, neck tattoo is front and center. Of course, he's using his music. He's gonna be weird, and it's great. And it's
He
so
has his
funny.
dog on a shirt.
It's so funny how out of place Cody was in AEW at the end. It's just this like baby face that everybody hated, and he goes to WWE and he's just like so authentically a baby face. It's like this
Yeah.
is where he should be. He did
I-
the AEW thing. It gave him credit, made him a main eventer. Now he can go in and job to Roman Reigns on the way to Roman's match.
And it's funny if you've listened to in the past 24 hours, he's done 1 or 2 interviews. I know there's a Variety article that came out like right after WrestleMania Night 1 with him in it.
Mhm.
And he talks about like, oh, this is where I belong. Like I've wanted to come back here and, do what my dad couldn't do and win the big one. And it's just so funny because it reminds me of that Daniel Bryan quote about like, yeah, Cody's the best liar in the world.
Yeah.
Like he'll lie right to your face. Like, it's just like, it's a game, like it's fun. And then like knowing that, you think back to all the times in AEW where he's like, oh yeah, this is my job for life. Like, this is where I want to be. I want to, bring this company to the moon. And it's like, wrestling's just, it's all a work. Everyone
he's-
has to remember.
Cody saying he didn't want to be a manager, dude. It's like, dude, no one gives more like corporate management vibes than Cody.
And you.
Cody.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you weren't mature enough for it. Like, all right, well, maybe, I don't know, but it's
It's
still
like, wow, I couldn't win a guy. I like the line where he was like, oh, I
fine.
couldn't win a world
Dude,
title over there. It's like, well, who put
He
the
booked it himself.
stipulation in that you
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
win the world title?
Father
That's
was
your fault,
Dusty
dog.
Rhodes. Like, if Dusty Rhodes told you a story, do you believe it? I mean, come on.
And from an audience perspective, everybody loves Dusty Rhodes, but you ask, wrestlers of the era, you're going to get a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
People hated Dusty Rhodes with a
people fucking hated that dude's guts.
Yeah.
For me, like, I've written a lot of negative shit about Cody Rhodes, like a ton.
You were
like
the
half of
sole
my job.
boo. Colette was the sole boo during Cody Rhodes' like My Black Baby promo.
My wife.
Oh my god.
Live in person.
But the thing,
like,
I've always really liked Cody Rhodes as a wrestler though. Like, it's really weird. Like, I hate him as a character and I love him as a wrestler, and that's been true since like his WWE days. Like, I thought this match was fascinating because it was his first opportunity to wrestle a WWE style main event. And he did it. He did it really well. Like, I thought that there was a couple of moments where he had to adjust, like early on. And I didn't think that he had as much chemistry with Seth as I thought he would, given the Shield and Rhodes Brothers feud back in 2013, which is amazing.
So
good.
Go back and watch that.
Yeah, it's just super good. But he figured it out. Like, he figured it out because he's a smart wrestler. And it's just like one more weird like check mark on like the Cody Rhodes tour of kinds of matches he can wrestle despite having never done them before. So yeah, I mean, I'm not into the point where I'm gonna sacrifice 3 hours of my week to Monday Night Raw to see him pander to people with his quasi-fascist neck tattoo and all that, but like when I go to SummerSlam and he beats Roman Reigns, I'll be cool with it. Like, it'll be totally fine.
Will you cheer?
What's that?
Will you cheer?
Oh no, I'm stone-faced. WWE events.
Just imagine when Cody Rhodes gets to Saudi Arabia. I think that's going to be.
Oh, they're gonna love that
necktie.
Cody Rhodes is gonna bust out the foundation that he was using when he was teaming with Fuego del Sol.
Or he's gonna be wearing a full bodysuit.
He has some.
Yeah.
Full mile bodies.
What do we think of Edge and AJ Styles?
I made a pizza.
I did something else. Yeah.
I literally
was trying to order
eating
food.
a pizza roll the whole time.
I had a bathroom break.
I liked that Edge inherited the goofy entrance from Triple H, and he also inherited the have the longest match that people aren't really that into.
This Edge Edge has been back for what, like 2 years now. I'm done with it. Like, and I love old Edge, but I was like hanging out with, like, I watched with my roommates, and they were just like, who cares about Edge? Like, this isn't. I was like, oh, well, he was like a really big, really important, like 2008. He's like, no one watched that, and I think that's sad. It's like Edge was a good performer, but I just don't like these dream matches he keeps having. I mean, yeah, who was like dreaming of AJ Styles and Edge? It doesn't matter. And
I think it would have been different.
Dead. I thought the crowd was dead.
Yeah. When he returned at the Royal Rumble, like 3 days before the coronavirus entered America, like there was a huge pop, and it felt like there was going to be something like that was really there for Edge. And the same thing kind of happened to his return as what happened to like Drew McIntyre's WWE title run, which is in a bubble. No one gives a shit. Like, no one cared. No one cared about WWE product at all. And when they came back, they were like, all right, we're going to have you feud with Miz and Maurice. And there'll be a pay-per-view like match.
That was more fun. That was more fun than this match was.
All I saw was the spear at the end, which was his coolest spear since WrestleMania 17. Like, that shit ruled. If the rest of the match was that good, then I regret making a pizza, but I haven't heard anything good. So the pizza was delicious.
AJ was bleeding from the entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
He
very
was
weird.
bleeding
Yeah,
from the
I don't
entrance.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
he had
understand
like
how
some
that
kind of
happened.
pyro.
He did the
got hit by
Sandman
pyro.
entrance.
Yeah. He had like
But
a
I think-
burn or a cut
Oh,
on
he
his
did it on
cheek
the
from-
side of his head. He's like a Georgia thing. I don't know. Oh,
No,
that
I
was
think
a
you're
sick
right.
burn. That was a
When
sick burn. I forgot.
But I think you're right. Like back when Edge delivered COVID to the Royal Rumble, like we were all excited because it was a big moment. But like what that moment happens in a bubble, and then once you take that out of the bubble, I don't think the mainstream audience was as excited about Edge because like real WWE fans, like that I talk to, are like fully in on the Edge train. They're like, "Oh, this is great. He's better than ever." It's like, I don't know if that resonates with a mainstream crowd, and I think you saw it tonight with WrestleMania.
Yeah, and like he came back, and like the last time I saw him in a major singles match was that stupid match he had with Randy Orton.
Oh, the greatest match
The
of all
one in the
time.
PC.
Right.
Yeah.
So like that was like, and then he got hurt, and then he's back, and now he's like, I'm having a dream match with Edge. It's like this whole Edge dream match tour doesn't work. Cut your hair, do something, change it
something
up.
different. Yeah.
He looks
Yeah, you
homeless.
know.
Like he looks haggard every time I see
That's
him.
fine. I like homeless looking
He
wrestlers.
should have changed his theme song to Rob Zombie again.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Well,
maybe
that
now that he's
would've
starting
he
his
had played a
faction.
lot of 90s music, Bawa da Ba, and
All right, Ba with the Ba. That song
Wait,
rules.
Where did we get
Metallica.
So
Bawa da
into
Ba?
that.
Hold on. We got Bawa da Ba. Where was when?
It was
Jared.
in one of the video packages.
It was in
in
It was
the
during the
Austin-
video package for
It was in
Austin
the
and
Steve
KO.
Austin video
Which one?
packages. The
Austin
Steve
KO.
one.
I skipped it.
You missed out.
Yeah.
Just because all that video was Steve Austin doing a four-wheeler across his barren desert ranch doesn't mean that there wasn't
You know
something
what?
good in it.
You're right. You're right.
Logan Paul and The Miz against the
What?
Mysterios.
All right, let's make this one quick.
I will
Pikachu
say
made his debut. That was
Oh,
dope.
Logan Paul, maybe the second best celebrity wrestler.
He
After
had
Johnny
the heel
Knoxville?
heat. That
He looked
shimmy,
good.
that
He had a
Eddie
better
shimmy.
frog splash than Dominic. I'll say that.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dominic for his Eddie Guerrero War of the Worlds tribute
Yeah.
gear.
Oh yeah.
I
Those
was
Gringos
losing
logos.
my
Gotta pay
shit for
tribute
that.
to your dad.
did
The
love
Gringos
that.
Locos. Yes, that was very, very cool. I
Agreed.
thought that was really nice. That was a very nice touch.
Yeah. Logan Paul, a person I just don't care enough to like even want
Right,
to
you
form
don't
an
care
opinion
about
of.
you don't care about Logan Paul.
Yeah.
But he was good. He was better than The Miz.
In
I
all
think
seriousness?
he'd make a good wrestler.
He looked
I mean,
great.
you're gonna be seeing him. You're gonna be seeing him a lot more. He's sticking around.
When
Sure.
when the ring announcer was like, and coming to the ring with this CSA certified 10 out of 10 rare Pikachu card, like my mind went to outer fucking space.
That's
I mean, I do like that touch. I mean, I don't care who it is, Logan Paul or whoever. You come to the ring with a DSI graded Pokemon card around your neck. You've
It's
won
a
me
great
over.
gimmick.
Yeah,
Who do you
I'm in
think
on
was
that.
the one? Who do you think was the one that explained that to Vince McMahon? And how do you think he reacted? Like when they were like, "Oh yeah, this is the most expensive, rarest Pokemon card."
I'm sure he's
What?
heard of
baseball
Pokemon.
card, Vince. It's a
I'm
baseball
he's
card
heard of
for
Pokemon
nerds.
before in the past 20 years. So I'm sure
Oh, he
was
played
like,
Pokemon Go. Vince played
He probably
Pokemon
said that it
Go
wasn't
for
as
one
valuable as
tweet.
the egg.
what?
Yeah.
He played Pokemon Go. What?
He did. Vince, there's like a tweet. You can look it up of Vince in the gym with playing Pokemon Go, and he's like there's some it's just like his screen and there's some little Pokemon. I don't know which one.
Snorlax.
I just picture him getting annoyed, like, who's in my gym? It's supposed to be me. It's 2 a.m. Who's in my gym?
I was wondering if this is the first time he's ever heard Seven Nation Army, and if I was wondering if he liked it.
What is this?
I think
It's
it was
definitely the first time he's heard it. I don't know if he likes music.
Yeah, unless,
don't
he's,
like
unless he
it.
goes to a lot
Song.
of soccer games. I don't know if he's heard Seven Nation Army.
I mean, he goes to every ACDC concert.
They
The
cover
white
it?
stripes are very easy
They
to
play
see.
it?
Front row.
He definitely loved Dallas Cowboys with Thunderstruck. That was definitely his.
Yes, that was his
Yeah.
call.
Yeah, I'd say.
Oh,
so.
Vince is yelling at a Ghastly. Ridiculous.
Bianca and Becky Lynch. What do we
Great.
think?
Great. I love
This was
Bianca's
my match of
entrance.
night one.
Yeah.
For
That
sure.
was- that was like the main. To me, that was like the main event.
Mhm.
That was
Becky
great.
looked great. Bianca
Becky looked great.
Perfect
Bianca's
babyface entrance.
amazing entrance.
She looked great too.
Great match. Great match.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like
Get that-
the main
it's the
event
most-
presentation, the big entrances, like new looks and gear and stuff. It's
It
like
mattered.
It's everything you want in a WrestleMania match. It ends a feud.
mhm.
It gives you something new that you haven't seen before, like look wise, like you were saying. Like everyone had their A game on, and it was just a really good story, well told. They didn't overdo it with high spots. They didn't, slow things down too much. It really was like, this is the kind of match I talk about when I tell people that you can hate on the WWE, and we all do. They mess up a lot. But
Not
when
me.
they get something right, they hit it out of the park. And this is a great example of that.
Bianca radiates when she's coming down the aisle and the band is playing and she's just that red. She just leaps off the screen. She's so valuable and like underutilized in a way, like, Ronda and Charlotte, I get it. That's a match that they've wanted to do for a couple years, but
It
now
sucked.
let's
Boo.
just
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
Ronda.
I know.
Get her off my TV.
I had no
Get
desire
that
to
turf
watch
out
that
of
one.
here.
Sorry.
that's
But
fine.
Charlotte looked great.
Hey, now, like, okay, your top wrestler is Bianca Belair. Now that is your top one. Everything leads to her. In my opinion, she's the one.
Bianca,
Yeah.
she has like the potential, like she's not quite there yet, but she definitely has the potential to be bigger than Becky or Sasha, who are like the two biggest stars they have.
And Becky and Sasha should make her this year. Like that should be the.
I agree. Well, Sasha did. Both of them did within a year.
Oh, yeah.
True,
Like
true.
and it worked both times. Like
They just have to
honestly,
stick with it with the rest of the booking.
Yeah, I mean, you remember last year how everyone hated the whole 8 seconds thing, like where she like lost to Becky in 8 seconds at SummerSlam, and it was like this horrible thing that happened. I thought that, but this kind of redeemed that. Like it gave Bianca something to fight through and get back, and she's fantastic on the chase. Like she is unquestionably the best babyface they have. Cody Rhodes may disagree. But there's nobody
passionately.
He's the best wrestler in the world.
He's the greatest.
according to him.
Yeah.
Imagine he is the only wrestler who, like, within the span of like 3 months, has gone through a flaming table and wrestled at WrestleMania. Well, Mick Foley did it in one night. He's better.
He went through a flaming table at WrestleMania.
Yeah, at WrestleMania. So like I thought that match was great. Something that I was kind of like tweeting about during it was you could tell how good they were together, because there were moments where like Bianca wasn't transitioning to like big power moves, like picking Becky off the mat with like one arm, but they were able to like transition it to like going over the top rope or moving into a submission or something like that, to the point where like unless you were like an obsessive, like you wouldn't notice it. Like it just looked like two people fighting. And that's like, it's really small detail stuff, but it's great. I thought that match, if it wasn't for Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee, it was probably the best match of WrestleMania weekend.
We kind of covered Charlotte and Ronda. Any other thoughts? It was just kind of shrug.
I was stoked that
Ronda
she lost. I was so fucking happy.
Ronda was so tired. Like she was not in good shape. She looked bad. Like everything she did looked like it hurt her. Like she just kept hurting herself.
I don't think she wants to be there.
No, of course not. She wants money.
I don't know.
Yeah,
sure. It's not gonna work. It was a novelty a year, 4 years ago, and now it's 4 years later. Times moved on.
Yeah.
She makes everybody who wears makeup in wrestling look better.
I thought it was a rare case of like the WWE dumb ending actually working for the story. I like the story of like Charlotte knowing that the ref was down, so she tapped so that Ronda would let go of the move because she's an idiot and go grab the ref. And while she did that, it would give Charlotte the opportunity to do one more move to her and show her who the true queen is. I was popping. I was so happy that Charlotte won. I love Charlotte. I feel like Charlotte has really reached this new level of confidence in her character where I'm rooting for her as a heel. Like, no, I'm not like, she's not a cool heel. She is a heel, but I love watching her be a heel. So I'm glad that they're giving her, because I don't want to see Ronda as champion. Like, because Ronda can't carry her end of like doing promos and all that. She should just be like a featured attraction. Like, she'll come, she'll say she'll make her pouty face and like whatever, they'll get their cash in. But
she's
she
not
should
Brock
not be,
though. She's not Brock. You know,
not
she's
at all.
not Brock,
No.
and that's the problem. Like, if she was the level of Brock as a wrestler, great to come in as an attraction once in a while, but diminishing returns.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, is she even a draw at this point?
No.
I don't know.
No, I think
I
think a lot of people were just wowed 4 years ago by that first match with her and Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
but
that
what
match
people have to
sucked, too.
remember is that was a long build up where they practiced and had it down to a T what they were going to do. And then everything else after that was not that.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we had a bunch.
Continue.
Yeah, we had a bunch of Raw matches on the show too.
Eric
in the chat saying that Omos almost killed Bobby Lashley.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any highlights of these matches?
Omos,
Can I
his
get
selling is so bad. Omos's selling is like he should never sell, first of all, but all of his faces are like these little rascals faces that he makes when he has to sell. So I got some laughs out of the match, but it was complete garbage. I felt bad for Bobby Lashley. He should have had something better, but
I did see him on stage with Vince pal Emilio at Wally Mania. He was rapping Jay-Z.
I saw that on Twitter. Yeah.
With that monster voice of his. I like his voice.
Emilio
was
I was talking to Emilio yesterday about Wally Mania, and he was like, Omos, just like you could see him coming a mile away. Like everyone, when Omos entered the room, like the eyes went to Omos. Like there was no, he's so much taller than you even imagine seeing him on TV.
Yeah.
I get why.
Omos
Yeah.
is such a territory era wrestler, like a great Kali style wrestler. He's like 9 years late, because if he were around 9 years ago, he would have gotten like a temporary Great Kali title run. And he would have been my favorite wrestler. But he's here in 2022 and he's too tall for someone to put a full Nelson on him. So it was a really disappointing match for me, because I love the full Nelson and I love tall people.
I wonder if it's like Kali in India, or like to a lesser extent El Gigante in Brazil, where it's like in Nigeria, Omos is so fucking over.
Super over.
the biggest star.
Like
there's one territory where like that's where all the homosexuals are. Like they're just all
the great power Udi is like furious. He's not on top anymore. Any other highlights of these? Matches?
No, a low light. Just when I thought Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs could make me more upset, they just became Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah, they were cheerleaders.
They just became an Arnold Palmer drink.
Oh, I would love a tag team that's just called Arnold Palmer, and one's like lemonade and one's iced tea.
That's what it was. You got
like Samoa Joe's trunks. Man,
you got your dream came true.
It was so sad, because in the beginning I was like, "Oh, look at Nakamura's new gear, new colors." Why?
And then you saw the amplifier.
It's just an ad. Yeah. It could have been for Cricket Wireless if they had a different sponsor for that.
What are those guys getting in the ring?
My friend Robert Newsom has this joke about Ric Flair where he's like, it's a shame that Ric Flair disappeared after 1995. And that is pretty much how I feel about Shinsuke Nakamura after 2016.
Yeah,
one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I don't know where he went. He's gone.
I don't think
R.I.P.
He's surfing. Some say he's surfing.
You know what?
It's fine.
He still comes out with so much charisma, and
people love him.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to do a lot.
If I was 7 in 2022, Shinsuke Nakamura would be my favorite wrestler. He would be. I don't know.
Mine would be almost.
No. Right, who would yours be? 7-year-old.
7 years old Logan Paul.
Like, mommy, he's got a Pokemon card around his neck.
Yeah.
Sick.
Let's move on to some of the other events. The Hall of Fame, we had a full hour of Undertaker with a wireless mic.
Yeah, he looked like I think public
Sorry,
Enemy was
Mark
saying,
Calloway.
Mark Calloway.
he looked
My
like a
least favorite
televangelist, like he looked like a Creflo A Dollar kind of guy.
Yeah.
A terrible evolution of the Undertaker character.
It's the most logical
real.
next step.
Yeah.
Real
Somebody
dark
tweeted
evangelist
like
ticket,
he looks
yeah.
like he's about to sell some like crypto.
So
Some Gothic real estate.
I didn't see this, but so he spent a number of minutes talking about his relationship with Jesus Christ. But
My
he didn't-
Lord and Savior, Jesus
Did he?
Christ.
I missed it. Did he? Oh.
did he mention Mick Foley?
No, not at all.
Wow.
My favorite thing about the Jesus thing is that he just kind of elevated it step by step. He was like, I would like to thank my lovely wife, who is a great wrestler in her own right. I would like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And finally, I would like to thank Vince McMahon.
Well, you ramp up. Vince McMahon is above God because he beat him in that match.
Wow.
That's right.
Did
That's right.
technically in the rankings.
Yeah.
In the AEW power rankings, Vince is higher than God.
Undefeated over God. But Eric Bischoff is undefeated over Vince McMahon. So
That's true. Vince never showed up.
Easy E, he's number one. So far as bookers go, it's Easy E, Vince McMahon, and God.
Yeah. It's just like I can't imagine a bigger gap for anybody between the character they play and the person they are for my personal taste than Mark Calloway and the Undertaker. Like when
Would you
put
miss the
hat
American
on,
Badass era?
that was still different. He still had an aura. There's no aura with
There's
Mark
none
Calloway.
whatsoever.
He put the hat on and it was like, never say never. And that was cool.
Yeah.
But it was after an hour of like, and gosh, who designed my costumes? Bryce, who
See,
decided.
that was not cool though, because I don't want to see him wrestle again. Like, I don't like
And
that he's
who-
leaving the
like-
door open over it.
No,
Yeah.
I disagree. I want Undertaker to wrestle until he's 95 years old.
Terry
He
Funk
should wrestle
style.
Omos.
And just like they just throw him off the balcony onto Darby Allin or whatever it is. Just the whole way down. I want white hair and the beard. I just want him to be a wizard looking guy. I never want Undertaker to go away. And he went away, and look what happened. It's
Yeah.
Everybody
I,
bumps around him.
This was like an audition for a public speaking career.
Oh, was it not? Yeah, or like a multi-level
Yeah.
marketing scheme.
A mega
Yeah.
church. He's going to have a mega church with
Oh
Michelle
God, he
McCool.
is.
He's
Did
gonna,
y'all,
he's gonna
like-
have his own line of dead talks.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. It
Gonna
is
be a
worth
heavy
going back and
metal-
watching.
Yeah.
Just because like he coined the term Undertaker's mental moves.
No, that doesn't sound good.
Wow.
He talked about how those were the things that he lived by throughout his illustrious 30-year career, and like Undertaker's mental move number one: perception is reality. And it's like, that
And,
doesn't
and
make
how
any
does one
fucking
get in on
sense.
this multi-level marketing pyramid?
Fucking sucked.
I'm gonna try to live by Undertaker's mental moves for the next week or so and see how that shakes out.
let us know. Please write
I'd
a
rather go
comment.
by Scott Steiner.
Please write an article for Fan Fight. We'd love to see your
More
results.
gonzo journalism from Colette.
Yeah, yet more.
Speaking of Gonzo, Colette, once you made a trip to Scott Steiner's Shodies, a great article.
Oh yeah.
Please check that out. But Scott Steiner getting the nod at the Hall of Fame, taking too much time, stumbling over his words. But
No,
still
wait.
great.
Yeah, his public speaking has really gone downhill, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, he did have a heart attack. He beat Triple H to the punch on that one.
Oh, he did. I didn't
Um,
realize.
Yeah, he had like a
well, 'cause he was-
heart-related.
He was
event
just
at a
such
show.
he was such a great
Oh, yeah.
communicator before that.
A man of fine health.
Yeah. So glad Darren and I got to see him wrestle one last match against Swoggle a few years ago.
You went to the AIW show.
Yes.
He came out to little people.
Sure,
Yeah.
people got no
I got-
reason.
Short people.
When I got a text message about that, like he's like, I have no idea why the fuck Scott Steiner wants to come out to little people, but he does.
And
Yeah.
he sings along. Yeah, weird seeing Scott Steiner sing Randy Newman.
He's so
Yeah.
good. That speech was not very good. But in true Steiner Brothers fashion, he kept Rick from speaking too much.
Yeah.
it was nice. Like, I love the Steiner brothers. I think they're the best tag team of all time. Scott Steiner is, depending on who the last person I've seen wrestle, like probably my favorite wrestler of all time. But yeah, I was hoping, like, I had a little bit of hope that Scott Steiner was gonna like start saying some weird shit about Triple H, challenging him to a drug test or something. But we can't be so lucky.
Yeah, I wonder if they had to finally take down that Scott Steiner picture at the entrance of every wrestling event they put on. And then we had Vader go in. Queen
It's about
Charmel.
time.
When I heard about Queen Charmel going in, I was like, she didn't
we
do
just
a
skipped
whole lot.
we just skipped right over Vader, Brett.
Because
That was just his kids talking.
yeah.
I will say,
But Queen
Vader
Charmel,
rules.
it's a shame they didn't put him in when he was still alive. Because
Yeah,
Oh,
when
of
he was
course, yeah.
alive and begging to be put in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Vader would have said some crazy shit on Mike.
Oh,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, he would have fought.
Yeah, he would have tried to
Came out-
fight
he would've
fucking
came out
Triple
and-
H or some shit.
He would have had the helmet on. He would have had the helmet on. It would have been the whole thing.
It would have been
Yeah.
amazing.
They did have the helmet there. That was nice. But and they gave a nod to Boy Meets World, which I appreciated.
Oh,
But yeah, we had Queen Charmel, maybe the best Hall of Fame short and sweet acceptance speeches ever. She had so much poise. She looked radiant, great outfit, like King Booker doing the "Oh hail Queen Charmel."
That was
It's
really
so
good.
funny. It's like I was like, oh, I forgot that was part of the gimmick that they would just keep saying that. I thought it was so great, and I was like, yeah. After seeing the little video package and everything, yeah, you do deserve it. Fuck it.
I loved how she was like, and thank you, Boogeyman. I think she's the
It's like,
first,
get
she's
in
the
for
first
that
Nitro
well.
girl to get in. So
her
I'm
career
down
is
with
so like,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
because then she's like, Ray, I'll never forget the filthy animals.
that.
Oh, weird.
And then who else went in?
Shad Gaspard.
Oh, Shad Gaspard. That was so I teared up when JTG and his son did the like crime time thing. That that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Very sad, very
Mhm.
touching.
I'll be the 1 millionth person to say that they should rename the award. Stop calling it the Warrior Award and
Yeah.
maybe just
Stop
name it
bringing
after Shad.
Fucking
Yeah.
Dana
Yeah.
Warrior out every time.
Yeah.
Did y'all
What?
see? Did y'all see that the Ultimate Warriors company was selling the shirt that he fucking died in
Oh no.
Yes, I did see that.
Who
for
bought
like
Oh.
$3,000?
Is it still
Only
wet?
3?
I don't know. It's the grimmest thing I've ever seen
Wow.
on the memorabilia side of pro wrestling. But yeah, she's
Both
selling her own
Undertaker-
husband's shirt.
Undertaker
my
did what
lucky
Warrior
shirt.
did that year, where he wore the same outfit several days in a row. It must have been disgusting.
Oh yeah.
That's what wrestlers do, though. Like,
Yeah.
there's a story about how Vader would like wear his singlet one way, like with the Vader time in the front, and then the next would wear it on the back because he thought he didn't have to wash it if he reversed it.
yeah.
That's wrestler logic.
I did notice that in the video. It's like, oh yeah, it does like switch sides
You
sometimes.
clean the
I saw
balls,
a
yeah.
picture of Vader and he was wearing just a regular tank top backwards. And I was like, I don't think this guy knows how to wear clothes.
Yeah.
Just mechanically can't do
He was
it.
just in gimmick. That's all.
Yeah. He's like crisscross.
I have a complaint about the Hall of Fame. We have no legacy inductees this year.
Oh,
Cora
Where would
Combs
you put
should
it?
be in there.
Where were the
Jack Pepper
celebrity
is not getting the
inductions?
nod that he deserves. What
well,
do
yeah,
we
that's
think
right.
of-
There were no celebrities.
Thank God. What did we think of NXT? Anybody watch that?
I missed
I
it.
watched.
No.
I watched about half of
Hold
it.
on, did
Yeah, I
Ciampa
scanned
win?
through it.
I
Is
want to
Ciampa
see.
out of it?
I'd watch the Braun Breaker thing, I guess.
I
But-
have no clue what you guys are talking about.
Did you know that Braun Breaker did not win? He actually lost.
We're,
Yeah.
we're
Dolph
skipping over
Ziggler.
like the real thing here, which is that Tommaso Ciampa lost his last NXT match to Tony Gabagool. Um,
He's now the
then-
Don of NXT.
Yeah, he's
and then
making
he hugged
Italians
Triple
proud.
H for like 4 minutes and had to leave to Triple H's music. It was
Oh wow.
it was not the
Yeah.
best exit so far as NXT people go.
NXT.
Also, the most unnecessary ladder match in NXT history.
I will
Like,
go
I
so
felt
far
so
as to say
bad.
that
That covers a lot of ground.
90% of ladder matches are unnecessary.
Yeah, I felt so
And
bad for all
not
these
good.
guys. They're taking these crazy bumps, and it's like no one really cares.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Grayson Waller took
It's
like
in the
a bump that
afternoon.
was so gnarly that I remembered it.
Yeah,
like where he
that
like did
bump
some
was-
weird splash onto like two ladders that were draped over the guardrail, but he like missed, so he sprung off the first one.
He saw that
Disgusting.
really bad bump that AJ Gray did at the GCW World Show at the Hammerstein, and was
I
like,
was there
"Hold my
for
beer,
that."
AJ Gray. Hold my beer. I'll show you a bad bump."
Yeah. Did we see any of these collective shows?
No, I didn't watch
Yeah.
anything without WWE on it. I only went
Wow.
legal WrestleMania week.
Yeah.
I
Big Gay
watched,
Brunch for the culture.
Respect that.
I really
watched
liked
bits
the
and
Gringo
pieces.
Loco Lucha show.
I watched a couple matches from that.
That was very fun.
It was great. I want to watch the whole thing.
I did
That
not
was
get to
really
Big Gay Brunch. Effie, a wrestling club member, always puts on a fun, very weird show. But it, I couldn't steal that one. Bloodsport, not quite my thing. But
Oh, yeah,
I
there
watched
was
a
some
I
few.
heard
There was some
Bloodsport
fun.
was great.
I hear it was
Yeah, I'd
really
like to
good.
see Biff versus Mox though.
Mox,
I'd like
yeah.
to see
That was good. Yeah, I did watch that.
I love Bloodsport. That's Bloodsport 2019, best wrestling show I've ever been to. That's my number
Oh.
one.
Wow.
People were saying it's best non-mania week show ever.
Believe it. I believe
Yeah.
it.
Darren's Minoru Suzuki photo, famously claimed from that event.
Oh, yeah, I was there as well. That was-
Yeah, any of the WrestleCon shows? I watched a bit of the
Oh,
Impact
the
show
I
out of
always feel the
curiosity.
WrestleCon, like the Mitch, what's his name? I feel very
Mark
That one.
Hitchcock.
Mark Hitchcock. Yes, something like that.
He
The
was a
Memorial
graphic
show,
designer. Yeah.
is always one of my favorite shows of the weekend because it really does feel like an all-star show kind of.
Yeah, it's
thing
fun to
where
go
you
to
just
those
see-
live.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was some really fun stuff. It was Loki and Homicide in the main event against the Briscoes, and there was one guy in the second row who gave Loki so much shit, and Loki lost his shit
Of course.
and got
What?
on the
Loki
mic
got
and
angry at someone?
believe it or not, and got in his face, and then they started ejecting the guy, which was so funny because Loki is Mr. Anti-cancel culture, and so he was like, "No, bring him back in, bring him back in, bring him in. I want him in the front row." He's like, and at one point the guy was like, "At least I'm not blacklisted from everywhere." And he goes, "Oh, Mr. Big Man, I'm blacklisted. That's why you're sitting down there and I'm up here beating people up," or something like that.
That's why you're out there and
That
I'm up here
rules.
controlling my narrative.
Yeah. See you in the
won
rant room.
$5,000? Did anyone win $5,000 for a good match on that show?
Yes, it was Bandito against Speedball Mike Bailey, which was a very good match.
Cool,
Oh, I wanna
good.
see
I like
that.
Speedball a lot.
He
They
was
should have
all
given it to
over
the
shows.
scramble though. Just cut it up against the most people.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of a Loki intimidation. It's not any
Ooh.
place I'd want to be
That
again.
I was frightened for you. That
Yeah.
was when you were still doing the special, and no one knew nobody knew he was coming, right? Like Zelina
No.
De La Renta just brought him, and he stood behind the camera the whole time, just like scowling.
No, you want to know what was weird? Being backstage and like standing between him and Dave Meltzer, and Dave's like, "I know you."
That's like the one episode I wish I just wasn't hosting and could be a fly on the wall for all the conversations because I was so busy running around.
Well, one of my
And-
favorite moments ever from that show is that there's the one point where Jeff Cannonball starts a ruckus and like breaks a table, and there's a coffee on the table and it spills all over Selena De La Renta, and Loki like grabs her and is like, "We're getting out of here!" Like, and he looked so upset, like
Yeah.
he was ready to murder someone.
Yeah, I was
WrestleMania
worried.
2019, relive the magic only on YouTube. Unless it
I
already-
believe
unless it got
today
taken
it was
down.
like the 3 or 4 year anniversary of that. It came up in my time hop.
Yeah, I had to give Lita's Uber to Selena De La Renta to like smooth things over, and oops, it was just like a very nerve-wracking night.
Yeah.
But But we Dalton Castle was on that, and he was also on the
He was
pre-show
great
for Ring of Honor, which is back now under the leadership of Tony Khan. Big Samoa Joe return.
Called
Watch
it.
that show.
I feel like that was the obvious.
Yeah.
Had to be.
Yeah.
That was great. That Briscoe's FTR match was one of the best matches of the weekend for sure.
Yeah, it was great.
Mhm.
I enjoyed that show. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Top to bottom, it was a fun watch.
It was like, I haven't kept up with Ring of Honor, but I've watched a bunch of the more recent shows, and it felt like, okay, take this thing and fix some things about it. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
There was a lot of the same faces and a lot of the same things that I don't care about. Rhett Titus.
Well, I think he was just there to lose the title. I don't think he'll do that.
Yeah. And which is good. I like that. I would rather have Rhett Titus show up and lose than like have him be, wiped off the, map. But, we're doing a Jay Lethal main event angle and stuff. That's not.
Yeah.
Sanjay Dutt's in this. I like, what is this? I don't know.
Did any ROH guys beat any AEW guys, or was it all like AEW winning?
Wheeler
so.
Yuta won. Who else?
FTR won.
FTR won.
Gresham won.
Yeah.
Gresham.
Oh yeah, but that was ROH.
That was
versus
ROH match, right?
Yeah. That worries me though. It's like, is Bandito not going to be around in this new ROH? I guess not.
I hope he is.
I hope so. I feel like he's popped up in AEW.
I don't know.
Before, right?
I don't know.
No, he hasn't.
There are wrestlers lost in the shovel in AEW. I am much more excited about being in Ring of Honor than a lot of the current Ring of Honor guys. So
yeah, we had Mercedes win the interim title, which is stupid.
I hate Tony Khan's.
It's a whack MMA thing that. Yeah,
I love the TNT title.
He's
one
relying on it a
TV.
little too much now.
That killed MMA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like Deanna's like down the street, right?
Yeah, she was wrestling at that same time, but it's like the Briscoes wrestled on shows that were billed at the same time. So it's like they could have worked something out, I think. But
yeah, they could have done a number one contenders match. That probably would have.
Yeah,
I probably don't care about this new Tully Blanchard faction.
Brian Cage.
Wait, hold on. Who is Tully Blanchard's guy? Who was it?
It's like Brian
Brian
Cage,
Cage,
and then like a Savage
Iona
tag team.
and Jasper Kahn, the Gates of
Jasper's
Agony.
not really a Savage guy.
What? Oh damn, dude!
The Tully Blanchard
lost.
Enterprise.
It's
Tully-
very
Tully-
1970s.
Tully's lost in the divorce.
Uh,
Not good for Tully.
Real quick, back to Deanna. I was like, I wonder if there's like some angle here. So I did tune into the Impact show and watched. She had a big mystery opponent. So it was like, maybe this is going to be something intriguing. And it was Fabi Apache, who's, fine. It's interesting.
Didn't Deanna beat
legend,
her at like Triple Mania last year?
Yes.
So. Okay.
And then she retained.
Failed revenge.
Yeah. But like, I don't think people really. You picked up on it, I guess. But
yeah, just lucha perverts care. I'm not a lucha pervert, so.
Yeah, and then we had Swerve, we had Lee Moriarty, Willow Nightingale. Can we talk about? I think she is my favorite.
Great.
Give her $1
She's
million
great.
bucks.
Yeah.
I love her. I think she's as like genuine of like a likable baby face as Bianca Belair is.
Everyone says that she is that inside and out of
Mhm.
the ring. So that sounds like a baby face to me.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
are your standouts of these shows that you saw? Let's go around and maybe pick like if you have watched any of these people or just anybody coming up that you have seen and know where.
Yeah, let's keep it open ended.
Yeah.
Well, Willow definitely, but I want to give a big shout out to ASF, Arthur San Francisco. He was on the Lucha show. And every time he is on one of these cards, he steals the show with some crazy flippy shit. And I say flippy shit as a point of love. I love flippy shit. Flippy shit is my favorite. And
Chris
he
Jericho
always
tweeted
has,
about him.
Yes, he always has ridiculously innovative spots. I feel like the Lucha guy stole the show at the Hammer Sign show.
Yeah, that match was awesome.
Yeah, and he was the highlight of that, and then he was the highlight of the Lucha Game Changer show this past weekend too. He did this crazy spot where you know how they do the tilt-a-whirl or whatever into like a bulldog. So he did a tilt-a-whirl from one guy to a second guy to a third guy, and then did a head scissors. It was the most ridiculous thing, and it worked, and it was great. This guy's going to be really, really big as soon as people see him.
Yeah. Darren, anybody that you're excited about? I know you've had a busy weekend, but
I didn't watch any. I only watched WWE.
Colette, how about you?
Yeah. Madcap. Should I say Madcap Moss?
Aaron loves
The Andrew the Giant.
Yeah,
Andrew,
congratulations to Madcap Moss.
Yeah.
I can say that like of things that I'm looking forward to seeing when I have a chance to, because I have, it was busy last week. I have a busy week coming up. So I don't know what wrestling I'll see that's not NWO Wolfpack related. That seems to be what I'm up to these days. But I want to see Speedball Mike Bailey's stuff. I've heard nothing but incredible things about all like 19 matches he apparently had over a 5-day stretch. I wanted to see Minoru Suzuki's stuff because it looks really weird. And I thought it was great that he celebrated by drinking a Natty Light.
Partying with every cool kid like Hillbilly Jim at all the shows.
Yeah. I want to see Biff Busick stuff too, because I've heard that this Biff had kind of like a reawakening at like Beyond, like his first show back from WWE, but I hear that this was like really kind of him like staking his claim as one of the best on the independents, which he was when he left. So I'm looking forward to that. Otherwise, I think the best stuff that happened this WrestleMania was Stephanie McMahon apparently being in the same hotel as the GCW people, taking pictures with all of them. Like that made no sense to me, but and yeah, I don't know. It feels like a really weird week where like everything got smushed together. Like WWE did all of their stuff that they usually take the whole week to do in like 4 days. But like I'm sure that there's a lot of gems out there that are waiting to be watched, and I'm looking forward to finding them.
Yeah. How about Vin? Any
I'll throw some names out there. Like we were just saying, Willow Nightingale, I've been a big fan of for a little while now. Trisha Dora, great, obviously,
so
the Pan-African Diaspora champion.
She give her all the money too.
Give her all the money.
Mm-hmm.
Wheeler Yuta, we were just talking a little bit
that's who
about.
I was going to say. Wheeler Yuta continues to impress me.
Yeah, he's definitely like on the rise. I hope they do more of him. I was hoping they would do more of him in AEW, but now that Tony Khan's got Ring of Honor, I feel like you build him up in Ring of Honor. I think you make him a big star there, and then you transfer him over. The thing is going to happen to a lot of people that they're underutilizing in AEW right now. Also, a really great female tag team is the Sea Stars. I don't know if anyone's Stars. Ashley Vox and Delmy Exo. They're in MLW right now. And also, I would, last but not least, Darius Carter, who has 4 championships right now. You should go check him out. He's kind of a throwback. He's like a Nick Bockwinkel type. I would say loosely, if you're a fan of MJF, go check out Darius Carter, because he's been doing that act way before MJF, and I think he does it a lot better. He's so into his gimmick of he's better than everyone else. Like, I've asked him before, why don't you sell merchandise? And he's like, because I'm wrestling's richest prize, and you have to come see me. Like, I'm the only, you want a piece of me, you can't wear it, you can't buy it, you have to come and see it. And it's like, I like that.
Yeah, he's got a different speed to him too, which I appreciate. But I definitely second Trisha Dora. Like, why she's not women's champion in a major promotion, I don't get. She's like a veteran, and she's very cool. And also a Ninja Mac. Also,
I love Ninja Mac.
Like, I thought this Ring of Honor show was going to be like a nice little showcase for him, and then he wound up getting squashed by Brian Cage.
I really love Tully Blanchard saying Ninja Mac, though.
Yes. Scotland, anybody you love?
I saw a little bit of the Lucha show, and I saw Drago Kid for the first time, and I liked him. He was a weird looking dude, but I liked him a lot. Of course, Mr. Iguana, you know, I always champion Mr. Iguana. He did the AAA show.
Yeah.
And the Ring of Honor thing, I really like Lee Moriarty. I want to see more of him. I feel like he was kind of getting lost in AEW, and I don't know if they're going to just move him over to ROH or if he was just there for the super card, but I want to see more of him. I like him a lot.
Yeah. And on that lucha tip, one of my favorite matches of the weekend, and maybe it's just because I'm a sucker for the Carney shit, but Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Psycho Clown. It was so fun. They did all their things, and it was great.
Psycho Clown's great, man.
Yeah.
It
Dr.
bummed me
Wagner Jr.
out at
rules.
the Hammerstein show. Psycho Clown got like such a small response, and I think it might have been because he was like the first one out in that battle royal situation. But it was like all these other people that like wrestle in jeans and shit were getting huge pops, and it's like Psycho Clown's one of the biggest stars on the planet, but people didn't know who he was. It was bumming me out.
It's a really weird thing. Like I saw his appearance in AIW like earlier this year, maybe late last year, and kind of thought the same, where it was like people had to kind of warm up to him, whereas like, you know, in Mexico, obviously, like if Psycho Clown comes out that curtain, people are going nuts. And I don't know, like maybe that's just kind of the culture of indie wrestling right now, where people don't necessarily know wrestlers from outside unless they've been here for a while, like or Bandito or Laredo Kid or someone like that would get a huge response.
I feel like also a lot of American fans like know more about Japanese wrestling than they might about like lucha wrestling. It is, and like you're saying, like people that, you know, Psycho Clown hasn't been working the States a lot. So yeah, like you're saying, like that's probably why, but it's such a bummer.
It's weird. And you know, the perception of lucha libre in this country too is high flying stuff, and Psycho Clown is a brawler. Like it's just different. Like it's something that if you're not used to, you're not used to it.
Also, he wears a Halloween mask. I think that's part of it, but it takes a little to get over. But so yeah, any final thoughts about the week? Any weird things? One thing comes to mind is Nick Gage teaching William Regal how to do the MDK hands. So
fucking funny.
Brett, you know, I was in and out of Mania weekend. I've had a crazy week at work. Did Bob Backlund and freshly dyed Ox Baker make it to WrestleCon?
You know, I didn't get an update on that.
Oh gosh.
That one photo was
praying.
Intense.
Freshly dyed ox bacon.
Well, he for WrestleCon, he dyes the mustache and the eyebrows, not the rest of it.
Oh my god.
Not the rest of it. He just gets the $15.
He's like devilish.
Oh, I thought you were making. I thought Ox Baker had died, and you were you were making like a joke.
No. Bob and Ox seem to have road tripped to Dallas together, and someone took their photos somewhere. It looks like Arkansas.
That's like one of the all-time cars. Like just one of the all-time.
I would.
Well, the thing is, Bob Backlund he walks alongside the car.
Is Bob Backlund doing handstands this year again?
I have family in Connecticut, and I have thought about putting up the money to have Bob Backlund's HVAC company come to their house so I can spend an hour with Bob Backlund doing anything.
Dream blood rotation over there.
We gotta get Bob Backlund on Wrestling Club. That's my dream guest.
You know,
cameo. Can we get a?
I'm watching all these events. I'm watching Wall of Mania. Looks so much fun. You know, everybody's getting drunk and like cross-pollinating. WrestleCon, Darren and I have walked around before and like gawked at fucking great Sasuke and Taka Michinoku, like, and Virgil and our friend. Just like all these weird people sharing the same space that like are in the same genre and don't belong together. Next year, WrestleMania is coming to Los Angeles. Darren, if you're not flying out on your own dime, I'll fly you out. Anybody that wants to come out, we're gonna
fly you out. This is a binding contract.
We're gonna do some wrestling club shit, and we're gonna go to all the things, and we're gonna.
Yeah,
I can't say we'll be more popular, but we'll certainly etch out a presence like we did a few years ago at Special Mania, and you know we'll get Bob Backlund there, and we'll do another.
I want to be in the car with Bob from Connecticut to LA.
Now here's the big question: if you find out Lanny Poffo is going to be there,
Lanny Poffo can't get back in the country. Lanny Poffo does not have a working passport. He can't.
Okay, so that's out.
That's my
I know
belief.
he couldn't get TV reception where he was.
100% speculation on my part. But,
Maybe it's because the TV's at a weird angle.
but Bob,
Hovering over his bed.
we could listen to Shelby Foote's Civil War narrative.
I actually do listen to that to go to
8 hours.
sleep.
Bob listens it to stay awake while driving.
We're gonna rekindle our friendship with Big Dave Meltzer. We're gonna do it up.
Dave,
We have a year to plan this.
I just want to say I'm so sad that Dave dyed the hair for WrestleMania weekend, but my WrestleMania preview show was the Denise Salcedo Dave Meltzer matchup. Which just, I don't know. Maybe it's only me that makes me laugh.
Yeah. If Sean Ross Sapp can join the cluster club, I could do something within the year that'll make me worthy of inclusion. We know Joey.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Yeah. Check out Wrestling Club's Instagram for Brett's detailed Zabruder film analysis of Dave's office.
Oh yes. I did some close zooms on everything,
including just his child sitting on a chair. So weird.
Did you ever figure out what his favorite Beach Boys song is?
No, he didn't get back, but we'll ask him in person. We asked him his favorite movie last time.
Colette, how is your search? I saw on Twitter you were possibly thinking of crowdfunding $1,500 to get Bret Hart's top 3 Radiohead records. Is that
his favorite Radiohead record?
I'll
settle for one.
Your whole thread about Bret Hart's music opinions is so funny.
Wrestling Club will sponsor you on your journey for any kind of music. I just want to have like what Wrestling Club every week, and then we'll like check in with our music expert Bret Hart.
Yeah. Look, I got a venue now in Hollywood. Yeah. We're gonna do it up. We're gonna have a weird ass party.
I like that he likes REM. That makes me very happy for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, my take on WrestleMania week is that this is the best WrestleMania since 17. There's like no contest. Maybe if people would have cheered Batista at 30, things would have been different. But you know, I was the only one there cheering. So best.
Hey, Kumail was cheering. He had to promote Gruber. Gruber. He was front row screaming his head off. No, the Uber movie. Come on.
That was 35, wasn't it? That was 30.
Yeah, that was 35. That was Triple H. This is 30, where he should have beat Daniel Bryan in the main event to become WWE heavyweight champion. And I'm serious about that. He should have won.
Whoa. Hot take.
Daniel Bryan has got plenty of time on the clock. Dave Bautista did not.
That was true. You were right about that.
Rob,
he put over the Shield.
Any takeaways? Any last notes about WrestleMania?
My takeaways, I'm actually curious about WrestleMania Raw. I'm curious what Cody Rhodes is going to say.
Oh God.
I'm curious how they're going to treat this Roman Reigns win. It was interesting. They didn't get the wording settled on what he's called now, because they called him like the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, but then the graphics said he was World Champion and Universal Champion, and then like Michael Cole didn't know what to say. Overall, though, I will say this was a very fun weekend. I went into WrestleMania with very low expectations and was pleasantly entertained. I was not entertained both nights, so that in itself is stupendous.
Yeah. Scotland.
I kind of felt like the grump in a Christmas movie where I'm just like, oh, I hate WrestleMania. I don't care this year. and then I'm watching it and I'm like, this is a lot of fun and I'm enjoying it. And I like WrestleMania. I came around and I had fun, and I believe in the spirit of Andre the Giant now.
Yeah. Vin?
Yeah, I think this has been a theme for, I'm not going to say every WrestleMania the past couple of years, but there's definitely been this pattern of in the build-up, because the build-ups to most WrestleManias are not that great, outside of maybe one or two feuds that they're really laser focused on.
Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, and I always go into WrestleMania thinking like, the build-up hasn't been that good. What's it gonna be? I'm not really that into it. And then I watch it and I'm like, that was actually pretty good. And this year, especially, I think was like everyone seems to be agreeing on, is kind of been like a high watermark. Like there's a level of consistency outside of a handful of matches that they've been able to achieve this year. And that's, I guess that's to be commendable because they don't do consistency very well.
Yeah. Darren, any last thoughts?
WWE is a garbage promotion. It has been horrible for the past 2 years, but this was a big, dumb, fun show.
Yep.
That only WWE at its ultimate worst could make. I have no interest in any other shows they do. I'll see you next year, WWE.
Yeah, I ain't watching Raw.
Yeah. And we like glossed over it, but I am so fucking excited for Samoa Joe to be in AEW.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's to me, like, I don't give, like, I know it's not cool, the cool answer. I know it's not the whatever, but like Samoa Joe and CM Punk is an actual dream match that we thought we'd never get again, and we're gonna get it. And the William Regal ties into that, and the whole thing. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I don't want AEW to get any more old dudes or whatever. I think Samoa Joe's it. Maybe Claudio, if
throw them both in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Or whatever. Yeah. Joe don't even need, whatever. It don't matter. I'm so excited for Joe to be in the mix there, because how can it be bad?
Yeah. And next week on Wrestling Club, last week we talked about the Jim Morrison, Kevin Sullivan legal battle.
JJ Dillon's real name is Jim Morrison.
We
only refer to him as Jim Morrison on this program.
But yeah, on Twitter being alerted that who appears on Judge Steve Harvey this week but Scott Steiner.
What? Is this just a wrestling show now?
Is this shit about Shoney's?
So next week we're going to talk about Scott Steiner's appearance on Judge Steve Harvey, and Judge Darren Maybe is
people
we all come back for this one. This sounds
how if you have a gripe, now listen, how people get ordained, you know what I mean? They sign a little paper. I did the same thing when it comes to being a podcast judge. So, I'm George. I'll be Judge Darren Maybe next week. It's my first day on the bench, so go easy on me. But if anybody has some wrestling related disputes they want to air out in my court, Judge Darren Maybe next week. Brett's the bailiff. Brett will be there as well. And we'll see if this is an idea with any legs outside of it.
It's you and John. It's you and John Hodgman holding down the podcast judge team right now.
Yeah, I'm the Jesse Thorne of this situation. If any of our current guests have a wrestling related dispute, please hit me up. Or if anybody listening has a wrestling related dispute, I already have one passed to me. We'll see if the scheduling works out, but this would be a doozy.
CM Punk versus Colt Cabana. We're doing it.
Yeah.
I got Colt's number. Yeah.
I just need the other
He probably knows someone with CM Punk's number.
Probably.
So
we'll set I think a real judge has to settle that, but
I am a real judge.
Thank you everybody for joining. Squared Circle Pit, Fan Fight, Pro Wrestling Potluck, Oddball with Vin Forte, Darren's Saturday Night Music Show, which you superseded over WrestleMania.
Saturday nights at midnight, baby. It's WrestleMania Saturday, every Saturday at WFMU.
Yeah. And I don't know, I'll be performing around Los Angeles at comedy shows that I don't remember.
Woo!
So thanks to everybody. Thanks to you for listening. Darren, why don't you take us out?
I'm not prepared to take us out, but all right. Thanks for hanging out. It's the WrestleMania Rap Party with WFMU's Wrestling Club. Thanks to all our guests. Shout outs to everyone in the chat. Thanks to everyone at WFMU for putting the podcast up. Follow us on social media. We'll be back next Sunday with a whole new show, so please check it out. But until then, for Brett, I'm Darren. This has been Wrestling Club. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.